Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Programmatic Connect digital series, where we'll be discussing all things mobile programmatic with esteemed personalities from the industry. In this episode, we've invited Harneet Singh, marketing manager in 1MG, to share his experiences and insights while working in the rising mobile healthcare industry. Let's get comfortable and listen in to the captivating discussion.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Programmatic Connect Digital. I am Pompika from Arki and today our topic is global growth strategies for healthcare apps. So today our guest is Harneet Singh from 1MG. Hi Harneet.
Hi, Pompika.
Harneet, would you like to introduce yourself and about the company?
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me on this session, and I hope it would be a great one. I'm Harneet. I'm from 1MG, and 1MG is basically an healthcare application that our audiences can use. And basically, we are into healthcare services. We provide online medicine, telemedicine, doctor consultations, lab booking at your home and services like these. And yeah, that is the quick brief about me and my company. Yeah.
So as we all know that 1MG is one of the most popular pharma app in India currently. So Harneet, can you give us some insight about the app, like how it is different from other pharma and healthcare apps?
The first thing I believe our app is an integrated healthcare app. A lot of people generally think of app as in an e-commerce app. That is somewhat not relevant because it's an integrated healthcare app. So if you look at customer journey of a guy who is trying to avail healthcare services, there are a lot of steps involved in that. So the
Right.
first step is basically you try to figure out your symptoms. The first thing is where you evaluate that okay, you have one medicine, um, one symptom versus the other symptoms, and then you say okay, I have this disease versus other disease. So you try to read a lot of informational content around that. So 1MG has a lot of content around your health, around the different types of diseases, ingredients, and how they basically help you fix your health. The second step is where you visit a doctor and you figure out that you need a proper prescripted medicines. So we help you with doctor consultations as well, and we give you proper descriptions. Doctor will basically through a video conferencing evaluate your health and give you the proper prescriptions. From there, the next step in the journey is you basically take your prescription, go to a chemist shop, you buy a medicine, and you go home. So we help you with the online buying of medicines as well. uh, God forbid if your health is still not in a better condition, doctor prescribes you for a lab test. So we have lab test available at your doorstep as well. We see 1MG as an integrated healthcare app, whereas in we cater to the entire customer journey rather than just one facet of a customer.
That is great. So how do you see about the audience? Like, are they different from other app vertical or like?
Yeah, there are a lot different actually, because if you and it's something that we always discuss inside, that if you buy a t-shirt, what wrong could go with a t-shirt? Right. The only thing that would go wrong with the t-shirt is the size doesn't fit, or the color doesn't last longer, but that is not the case with the medicine. Medicine is something that is like your health is concerned with it, and we are not in a 99.9% accuracy industry, we are in a 100% accuracy industry. So that is the first behavioral difference between audiences of non-healthcare verticals versus healthcare verticals.
Yeah.
I believe when it comes to health, the seriousness of the user increases many folds as well, and they are always looking for the best possible solution that they can have for their health. So that is the biggest difference that we see with other healthcare apps, other vertical apps versus healthcare apps.
Correct. Thank you for those insights, Hanit. So as I've seen that many companies have changed their strategy during this pandemic situation, their marketing strategy. So how about the 1MG and how we are taking this forward in 2020? So
So yeah, as you have seen that as soon as the pandemic hits, the level of fear among people actually increases a lot, and that starts from lack of information, or I would say lack of quality information. A lot of WhatsApp statuses that we see or forward messages that we see are generally not authentic, and
correct.
definitely not authentic from a perspective of that someone in the industry has spent 20 years managing someone's health and then he is producing a piece of content, right? You will see a lot of generic uh, advice being thrown out just to get more likes and shares and these kinds of things. So as soon as this pandemic hits, the first thing that we had was, and it has always been our mission as well, that to simplify the healthcare information for the
Correct.
user. Providing services is another part, but and also ensuring that they are not in a fear state. They understand, they have confidence, and they have belief in terms of how their health is operating. So we immediately basically channeled our efforts towards creating more useful content and authentic content. So we launched a lot of ebooks, videos, content around some common questions you are asking about pandemic. So it could be as simple as that: will I die from it? And if you look at the death rate of coronavirus, it's a lot lower than other diseases that we see. So it's not really true in the case that if you get coronavirus you are 100% gonna be dead. But when it was originating, that was something that everyone was asking, yeah, like what's gonna happen if it hits me? And there are like hundreds of these questions that people start asking a lot, as simple as, can I eat non-vegetarian? Does it spread from non-veg? Or uh, what will happen if both of us are wearing mask and one of them is infected? How protective I am? So these are very common questions, and unfortunately no one is answering them to the level they should be, and definitely not with the seriousness. So we immediately jumped into that situation, and we said, as our all as this is our mission always, to make healthcare information accessible and easy to understand. So we immediately got into it, and we created a lot of content around coronavirus, and that was very well received with the audiences as well, because a lot of people emailed us, emailed our founder. They basically tweeted about it, and they said this information really helps. So that is how we changed immediately in the coronavirus times. Yeah.
That is great, Hanit. So let's talk something about mobile advertising. So it is an ever-evolving industry these days. Some new updates come up and everything is evolving. So what is something you are interested in?
First of all, I'm interested in the entire mobile space, I would say.
Yes.
Uh, uh, when I started marketing, I remember mobile was a small part of it, and desktop was the biggest part. And generally, the capabilities are basically spread between desktop and mobile. A lot of mobile people don't understand desktop, and vice versa as well. And in the beginning, specifically, a lot of people were only desktop, and they were like, I don't know app marketing, we don't know mobile marketing and how to get more installs and stuff. So from that moment to seeing mobile first uh, being into the marketing field implemented is like a great shift that I'm seeing, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
uh, uh, One thing I'm very very curious about to know is that why are people leaving desktops? And that is something that I always ponder about, and because I understand ease of space and traveling, and you can be connected at any moment of time, but I still keep pondering on that question a lot. On the other hand, if you talk about strategies and trends, I'm very particularly looking forward towards audio search, because I believe with Siri and with Google services, these things are definitely going to pick up, and you would see people buying via an audio search a lot more than we see right now. Or it could be as simple as book a ride or refill my medicines or something of that sort.
Mhm.
So I'm pretty particularly interested about that. B, I'm very excited about vernacular languages and how they are basically turning out in terms of giving marketing performance, because
Yeah.
the relevance is super high.
Mhm.
A few years back, it was still you were only going vernacular if you were state based
Yeah.
marketing agency or company.
Mhm.
But nowadays, pan India level vernacular creatives are still being used, and they operate in a lot better way, especially because a lot of audiences moves from one city to another in terms of in search for employment, in search for better opportunities. So we keep on experimenting, and that is something I keep wondering about, that should we run Bengali language creatives in Delhi as well and see how many people relate to it.
Mhm.
uh, and see, I'm very hopeful about all these attribution platforms that have come into the place,
Mhm.
because they give a lot of insights and data that we can actually relate back. uh, Also, with regards to attribution as well, a lot of information can be sent back to the advertising platforms,
Mhm.
so that they can optimize their campaigns to reach those sets of audiences in a better and efficient way. So lookalike audience is one thing that I am very particular about. So
Mhm.
these are the few things I'm looking forward. Yeah.
Yeah. That is great, Hanit. So, one thing that, what about the 1MG team? Like, you have different sectors for social search, programmatic, retargeting, user acquisition. Do you keep that separate, or it is one and all?
So there are different ways to look at it. One way is who is responsible for what, that is the KPIs part.
Yeah.
And we always try to have one owner for one particular subject, may it be marketing, may it be something else. That is easy, because if you have one guy who you can go after and say, have you done this, or is it done, or is it pending? So you get it relatively easier to move forward, rather than 10 people saying he was supposed to do it, I was supposed to do it, and things like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So we always try to maintain those silos,
Yeah.
but we also try to break those silos when it comes to sharing learning experiences.
Okay.
So how we do here is, we generally hold one common meetings.
Mhm.
That is the entire marketing meeting. Whereas in, so let's talk about performance marketing. So we held one performance marketing meeting where all the people from all different channels would be in the same room, and they
Okay.
would be sharing the same stuff. So one would say this is happening in Facebook, other one would say this is happening in Google, and third guy would say this is happening in remarketing, and things like that.
Mhm.
And what really great happens is, when all of these people are hearing each other's comments, they always have something to add on, and the moment they add on, it sparks a conversation,
Yeah.
and that conversation generally goes back to the macro things, that is audience behavior.
Hmm.
Like, I'm seeing this audience behavior, what are you seeing? And why is user reacting to this category more versus that category? Why I am having a higher conversion rate versus you? so
Yeah.
so that goes to the macro level conversation, and then you leave the room up to them, and they would
It's
be able to
kind of
share all.
brainstorming for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And then they share the entire information, and that is so it is important to have silos, but it is
Hmm.
very important for a team leader, manager, any guy in the leadership position, to keep breaking those silos as well, so that an easy flow of information is there. Also, on top of that, we also do the same thing with SEO and Google paid.
Okay. Hmm.
So it's not about that you only are doing Google paid marketing, you don't speak to the SEO guy, and SEO guy doesn't speak to the paid guy. That is not true. So
Yeah.
if Google is one platform, all of these things should be shared with each other as well.
Yeah.
So that is, silos are there, but we keep breaking silos.
That is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, can you share some key strategies to acquire users for 1MG? Yeah.
So the first thing that we look for is relevance, because when it comes to healthcare, relevance is very important. It's a need based stuff. It's not a want based. So it's not about that I'll show you a drooling cheese out of a pizza and you would suddenly say I want to buy a pizza. That is not going to happen in healthcare, right?
Yeah.
I can't show you medicines and say would you like to buy two today, and
Mhm.
it's not true, right? You only get medicines if you are unwell or you take it on a regular basis. So
Yeah.
relevance is super important when we choose a channel. So this is a part. B part, we carefully look after the audience insights. Now, a lot of app marketers, what they do is they look at audiences from a very single sided focus. So they would say my age group falls into 18 to 24, they do this, they do that. That is completely false. I'll tell you why. So a guy who is, let's say, 30 plus, and let's call it 30 to 40 age group, he's also buying diapers for his kids.
Correct.
He's also buying female hygiene products for his wife.
Correct.
He's also buying diabetes medicine for his father. He's
Hmm.
also buying woman Horlicks for his mother,
Yeah.
right? And stuff like that. And he's also buying something else for himself.
Hmm.
You can't have an audience.
Correct.
Your typical 30 to 40 falls here. So
Hmm.
that is one of the mistakes that people do when they go after a channel. They become too single focus, and they
Hmm.
forget that user is a human.
Hmm.
So we look for relevance. A, we
Hmm.
look for real human behavior insights,
Hmm.
and then we try to be. Again, going back to the relevance point, then we try to be relevant with our advertising to those sets of people.
Hmm.
Rest all channels are publicly available. Whatever you want to run it. Everything works, and
Yeah.
nothing works depending on the industry. But these marketing tactics are very important when you go for building a strategy.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Usually, I feel that I order medicines for my father. So yeah, he don't
Exactly.
do it himself. I do it for him. So yeah.
Exactly.
So can you share some tips for a marketer, like if they want to market a healthcare app? So
So rather than healthcare app, I'll just try to give more generic
yeah.
strategies over here. A, learn more about consumer psychology,
Mm-hmm.
because consumer psychology, a lot of, so I'll explain you. When I started marketing, there is a very popular line that I'm not sure if you have heard of or not. So it says there is a guy who is a digital marketer,
Mm-hmm.
or there is a guy who understands marketing and also understand digital. So the problem with a lot of digital marketers these days is they are too focused on execution platforms. They are forgetting the marketing laws and principles. Learn about consumer psychology, learn about marketing principles. Please spend that time, because a lot of people. So if I say someone, do you know about law of double jeopardy? They are like, we don't know about. If you don't know about that law, like a lot of your analysis thesis is going on the wrong direction. So learn about consumer psychology, learn about laws of marketing, learn about behavioral science as well,
Yeah.
like how you can change a behavior of a consumer or your audience without doing a lot of effort. So
Correct.
if you look at anyone's buy now button, you will see at least 10 strategies being implemented only on that buy now button. But a lot of people don't understand that, then they don't spend that time on it. So these are the three things that I want to push to any new marketer or an experienced marketer who wants to take it to the next level. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so can you tell us about the key in increasing the engagement and keeping high lifetime value users? So, high lifetime value users is currently very important for all
Yeah.
that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So all of this again falls back into other departments first. So for
Yeah,
example, high lifetime user. So if I ask you, why do you keep ordering back from 1 mg? That is probably because we are delivering on time,
correct.
right? If we are not delivering on time for the first time, for the second time, I'm sure you're not going to come back,
True.
right? So it falls back into the logistics department first as well. What
Mm,
is your delivery timeline? Can you improve that?
yeah,
Can you have a faster, better, safer delivery? That is another part of it, right? So um, so so what I'm trying to push over here is look at from a 360-degree angle.
mm,
Go out of your cookie data again, look at from a consumer perspective, right? So look at your delivery time. Second is look at your category level data. A lot of categories are high LTV versus a lot of categories are not high LTV. That is very important to look at. So
mm,
look at from the user behavior and just evaluate your categories based on user behavior.
mm,
Rather than just looking at data, just realize yourself that you are a human. And if I have to buy a t-shirt, how often do I buy a t-shirt? Or let's say a shampoo bottle.
Hmm.
If you are using a large size shampoo bottle, and just think of yourself, how many bottles do you buy for a year?
Correct. Yeah.
If you have bought one today, it
Hmm.
doesn't matter if I keep showing you ads till 3 months now, you're not going to buy another bottle
Absolutely.
until and unless your current bottle doesn't suffice your requirements. For example, you bought for an oily hair, now
Hmm.
you have a dry hair problem, and now you have to change it. That is a separate thing. So,
Correct.
so that is super crucial in terms of understanding your human behavior, and then basically going after them according to their human behavior.
Yeah.
And the another part is patience. You run an ad, you don't get transactions tomorrow morning. That is not how it works. Like, your audience was not sitting there waiting idle, that I will see an ad, I will buy something. That's
Immediately. Yeah.
not true, right? If I have to sell you a t-shirt, let's say, like, you're not ready right now to buy a t-shirt.
Hmm.
Maybe I can keep showing you ads, and in 3 months time you will say I should buy a new t-shirt.
Yeah.
But it's very rare, and a lot of people don't understand that perspective, and
True.
they are like, we ran the transactions are not coming in, like there is some problem. The
Hmm.
problem is your audience didn't knew about you
Hmm.
2 hours back. They just came to know about you, but
Correct.
their t-shirt behavior buying is going to be on the 1st of September.
Yeah.
So that is what I want to push here.
Yeah. So basically, I've seen also about the discounts and offers that you provide. So generally, my personal experience. So we bought medicines. We see that if we go and buy, the shop is nearby. Just we can walk and go. But still, we feel that we are getting more discounts. Like, why not to buy in bulk? And again, anyways, it sends a reminder to you the usual medicines. So I think that too plays a quite a role for Indian audience. I would say discount matters a lot.
So
Again,
so wallet matters for everyone.
yeah. Mm.
So wallet is something like, it matters for everyone and everywhere and every place. Like, you want to sell them a bottle of water, they would go back and do the price comparison. And a lot of price comparison, I have a very interesting point over here. A lot of price comparison doesn't happen as people feel it happens. So for example, let's assume lockdown is away and everything is normal and stuff. uh, how you evaluate two different categories is very strange when it comes to your wallet. So
Mm.
for example, you say, should I take an Uber to my office today?
Mm.
That will cost me $400, but
Yeah.
I might do 30 minutes of work on the way.
Yeah.
Versus you are comparing it to a metro travel where it would cost you like $30, but you will not be able to do work today.
Mm.
Right. So your price comparison goes to a very different genre. Now, if you
Yeah.
ask a metro or people and say, who are you competing with?
Mm.
They should say we are competing with Uber, or they should say we are competing with somewhere else, versus just looking into your category alone.
Correct.
So a lot of wallet comparisons goes a lot back, and similarly, it definitely alters behavior. It
Mm.
definitely, if you are showing someone they can get the same stuff in at a less cheaper cost, they are definitely going to buy it. So
Mm.
discounts definitely work, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But and just looking at discounts is one way, but we should look at wallet from a very different perspective and very different. So uh,
So, what is your take on creatives? Like, creatives plays a role in achieving the KPI.
highly important, highly important. Like, if you are going on a visual platform like Facebook or Instagram where your creative is the crux, um, I put in 50% of my efforts on creatives for sure.
Yeah.
So targeting and audience management is one. So if you
Mm.
are showing uh, a creative of a pasta to a hot dog lover, like, it's not going to help for sure.
Yeah.
So audience is bigger part. So first, how the process works is we first pick the audience, and if we know what the audience is, we look at user behavior, audience behavior, and all those things. Then the entire effort goes to the creatives, and we do a lot of creative testing as well. Whereas in we are running one variant versus another variant and trying to figure out which variant works in a much better way.
Mm.
So creative is a huge upside if you can win it up. So the compound effect of having a higher CTR can be calculated in the conversion value like 2x 3x easily.
Yeah.
So the more relevant you are in the beginning of the funnel,
Yeah.
the more relevant you will be at the end of the funnel as well. So And if our campaign is not working, we definitely keep testing audiences and creatives combined, and we keep testing until we find something that is a winner basically for there. So don't ignore the creatives, of course.
True. So, talking about the KPI, so whenever we talk to the advertiser, the main thing comes in front is the KPI. So, what is the most important KPI you think for 1MG?
I think KPIs are generally based on the timeline of the business you are in. So one KPI versus one business's KPI versus other business KPI will never match, because both of them are very different in a journey.
Yeah.
When it comes to e-healthcare, the only thing that matters right now kind of is how much market share you can gain, because all are new players. It's a new market. It's evolving, and
Mhm.
when you are in an evolving market, the only thing that matters is kind of new user acquisition, like how
Okay.
many new users you can reach, and of course how many you can retain.
Correct.
It can't be you acquired 100 new users this month but you only retained one out of it. Then I think your KPI should be immediately changed to retention, and basically looking at why the people are not sticking in, because you can only get as much people as you can in a timestamp.
Yeah.
We generally focus on both retention and new user acquisition combined. And then on top of it, customer satisfaction, and which is very important for the healthcare
Mhm.
services sector, and we take care of it very, very carefully as well. But in a broader sense, like if a business is generally new, they should go for new user acquisition. If it is getting more in a stabilized situation, they should add retention to it. As they mature even more, they should add branding to it, and
Yeah.
voice share and mind share kind of metrics to it. So this is the timeline, and every business goes through the same timeline. So that is how what's my take on it. Yeah.
Yeah. That is great, Harneet. I think we had a great session. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for your time. Thank you,
Thank you for
everyone.
having me.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in on this episode of Programmatic Connect Digital. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.